Do you currently, or have you ever had a room in your house where you just close the door when people are coming over because you don't want anyone to see your mess and disorganization? If so, this book might be something that you'll really love. Hi, I'm Amy. This is Cody, and today I'm going to introduce you to my favorite author, because Eve Schaub writes her memoir. It's A Year of No Clutter, and it's not another how-to tidying book. I just think that you would really get a kick out of this. I was laughing so much. Once in a while I even needed a tissue because I was crying. Judgment. I think sometimes when we get these books or on the TV shows, people are decluttering, but you know you are so far underwater, so to speak, with your junk in your junk room that you know you can't pursue the Konmarie method where you touch every item. You're just like, I would get buried if I tried to do that. I think that this book is just such a relevant thing for today, but also especially for those people that can't just delve into a whole house declutter because you're just so stuck and overwhelmed. And I think what she does so well in this book is she makes you feel like you're not alone if that's what you're going through. She self-identifies as a hoarder, and she kind of delves into how she got that way or her history. And she says it was a positive development because she progressed from admitting her problem to herself to admitting the problem to the world. She's really brave and honest. I think she even shares her like OCD and mental health struggles with anxiety, which I can relate to, so I appreciated that and found a lot of humor in that. She's like a best friend. While you're reading the book, you're like, oh man, I just want to go to coffee with this girl because she's so funny and relatable and down to earth and quirky, and I personally really like people who are honest and open and quirky. So she talks about big house problems where in America especially, we have this abundance of space in a lot of our homes, and we can just hide things places. And so she had this room that just became the pile room. She wanted that room to be available to her family and especially her daughters for an art room. So here I am sucked into this idea of transforming a space at different stages of my life. My craft room or my basement were definitely a room that I would close the door and hope nobody would see. It just weighed down on me, and often I would think about how much square footage that I wasn't using because I didn't have to be down there. And so my journey was wanting to reclaim that room, and so for Eve Schwab, she wanted that room to be available. She knew she needed to conquer her room like that, and just the nasty things she found in there, the things she knew were in there, the things she didn't know where they were, that she rediscovered. Eve hits the nail on the head when she says that our stuff reflects our beliefs, and not only that, but our identity. So what she's saying is that she just couldn't let go of her like artifacts from her past, fear of losing the past. If I get rid of this, will I even remember it? Like, if I don't have the item to touch. I am a sentimental person. I totally related to that. And so she definitely linked our schedule to our delayed decisions. She had to just say no to more things. And that's also like a simple, intentional life. Being intentional and simplifying my life has really, really brought my stress levels down. And I think the big point that I really found helpful in my decluttering journey, she addressed in chapter 8. One of her friends, I believe, named Debbie, said, I feel I have control over nothing in my house. And Eve kind of delved into that a little bit, saying, you know, if you can't control your house, what do you have control over? And so for me in my journey away from overwhelm and just trying to feel like I have more control over my time and energy and everything, and stress levels especially, that was just really something that motivated me. Like, if I want to reduce those things, if I want to increase the enjoyment of my life, I'm going to have to be in charge of my home. She talked about how now that she was making decisions, going through piles of stuff, she was like, oh, 2 hours later I made some progress, and actually one pile became 3 piles. You know, like, if you have ever tried to declutter and you're overwhelmed and not knowing what to do with these things, you can relate to finding yourself making the mess seem worse. It has to get worse before it gets better. So just remembering my process of decluttering, and it was an enjoyable reminiscing this time around now that I'd already done it. So I just love how she kind of goes into the psychology of the keeping pretty in depth, even getting to see another hoarder's hoard after they passed away, and just digging into what makes us tick when we have these saving and keeping personalities. She talks about, for a lot of people, saving is actually a positive feeling and not like, oh, I'm suffering from a mental disorder called hoarding. Like, a lot of people, they don't actually suffer. They're enjoying it, and they're avoiding discomfort in not having to make a decision. But in reality, when we save things and we can't find them, we create more trouble for ourselves. And it's very true. Like, for me, the positive emotion that I used to feel with saving things was like, hey, I'm being frugal, and it just made me, in my family, we valued frugality, and a lot of times I thought, if you get rid of stuff willy-nilly, you're not valuing things, and you're not being, you are being wasteful. So I had to change my mindset of, I don't need to save all the things and keep all the things to value what I have and to really use them. It causes frustration, damage and decay of our stuff. Like, she had this cat, and I won't spoil the details, but cat lovers, you'll relate. And Eve Schaub is one smart cookie, because she talks about what Marie Kondo did not cover in her books that a lot of us savers really struggle with. So definitely look into the book and find out what that is, especially if you like a zero waste lifestyle and green living. That will resonate with you. So I just love how she's really thought through every aspect of her decluttering journey as well. And in a few years removed from my closed door room, I think that it's always going to be a struggle for me, and I think Eve also admits that, and she's just so real of, I'm never going to be the next, Marie Kondo or whatever. She's not going to be in House Beautiful, but she is feeling more open to entertaining and that sort of thing. It's a good reminder and a good refresher on how exciting and enjoyable it can be to conquer your struggles. And in this case, hers is that room. And I think that you'll just love this book. Read it. I think you will really get a kick out of it, and you will laugh and be encouraged, because she's a normal, she's like your neighbor or your sister or something. It was truly refreshing to me, and especially good medicine in laughing so much. Reading isn't just entertainment or an opportunity to learn something new for me. It really represents self-care, the oxygen mask idea, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, or a busy working mom, or a professional with a very full schedule. Taking time to breathe before you take care of your other responsibilities is really important for stress reduction and just enjoying life in general. I found that it has really helped me get back to the place where I'm not feeling overwhelmed, just taking 10 minutes or so in the morning or in the evening before I go to bed, that it really just helps make me feel calmer. So I'm going to list in the description box below a lot of my favorite books and what I've read recently, and I'd love to hear in the comments below, maybe you can type for me, what you have read recently too. I first got introduced to her when I went to the library and I saw a book on the shelf that said A Year of No Sugar. I left through that book. It was one of the first books that I read to just relax. Every once in a while I'd have to elbow my husband and read him a passage and just say, doesn't that sound like me?
Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. Check out the video that I uploaded recently of the before and after of my own closed door room, craft room makeover. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already.
Hope you have a great day.